But Rob G, Micah Parsons is now in Green Bay. We know all that. Now all these stories are coming out about how his teammates weren't fond of his podcast and stuff. Rob G, clue us in.
Yeah, this is something that's been building, even before the trade. But since the trade, as we talked about it when you were out, Rob, me and Kelvin were talking, and we agreed that once this trade was official, the Micah Parsons hit pieces were going to be glorious.
Well, it's coming, right?
They were all coming. It's like when the Lakers, anything happens with them, there's always a hit piece in the chamber for The Athletic or ESPN. Well, the Dallas Cowboys like the Lakers of the NFL, so we knew this was all coming. It started last week when the Fort Worth Star-Telegram reported, and Jerry Jones confirmed, that the decision to move off of Micah Parsons was, quote, unanimous, both in terms of the front office, the coaching staff, and several player leaders, as they called them, all agreed that, hey, if he don't want to be here, get him out of here.
And that's always something. We talked about it before. Don't be asking for a trade if you ain't serious about it. Because once you put that out there, you know what I mean? Like, there's a chance people say.
Especially in the NFL.
Right? Oh, you just can't do that. Go ahead. Bob.
Sure. And then the next day, Albert Breer, friend of the show, MMQB, reported in his column that more specifically, the Micah Parsons podcast had rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, including, but not limited to, quarterback Dak Prescott. You recall he did that top 10 list and then left Dak out of it. It was a big talking point. Well, today, ESPN published a full-length piece. They dispatched 4 different NFL writers for this one. That's how you know they're heavily invested in this story. And in the report, they discuss how Micah Parsons' behavior, especially during training camp here towards the end, where not wearing his practice jersey, he came to practice without shoes on, he's eating nachos in the locker room, he's laying down at the trainer's table during the game.
That laying down, seriously, that was when you crossed the line. Like, you're making a mockery of the game.
That it rubbed everybody the wrong way, coaches, players included, with one team source saying that his energy in and around the team was, quote, deflating.
So, I said this last week. When you're Micah Parsons, even if you felt scorned, even if you felt like Jerry had, maybe ruined a relationship that you once had with him, you can't out Jerry. Jerry's the owner. Jerry's been doing this for 30-plus years. Jerry's done stuff the fans hated. Guess what they do? They go out and buy tickets and buy jerseys and talk about the Cowboys and do it and throw remotes at their TVs and still watch the Cowboys, meaning they ain't going nowhere with Jerry. That's their team. They're all a part of Cowboy Nation. How about them Cowboys? But Micah, which you can do, is by acting like a brat and by doing all that and pouting. And I understand you might have felt like you were, being disrespected. I understand that. That's going to fall on you. The systems always fall on the lower man. So it's going to fall on the player instead of the owner. And then the fans are going to look at you and your other teammates are going to look at you. Now, we have reports. We talked about it last week. Like you were saying, Rob G, where this stuff was going to come out, where teammates are going to start already questioning his leadership. And one of the continual things that came up is the podcast. And Rob and I have talked about it for a whole year, essentially, that we've been doing this show together. Nobody's saying you can't do a pod. My thought was do a pod on something else you like. Do a pod on the NBA. Do a pod on parenting. Do a pod on Penn State football. Where
do a pod on dogs going to restaurants.
Exactly. I'm signing up for that. Put me on so I can
dogs licking peaches.
Yes. You and the peaches. But let me continue, Peaches. So my whole thing is, this is going to look bad on you because you're pouting, you're throwing a temper tantrum, and now everybody's viewing you on this. And also going back to the podcast, this needs to be an opportunity, Rob G, because I believe there are two sides, especially when a breakup, right? This is what Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are going to say. This is Mike and his agent are going to say. Ultimately, there's a third side, which is the truth. Now that you're a Packer, what I need from you is to go in there and focus. What I need from you is to refine your leadership. Because it's okay to reassess and to regroup, right? Some of what if everybody's calling you crazy, Rob, what would it might be? That you're crazy. Meaning if a lot of people are questioning your leadership, a lot of people didn't like this, a lot of your own teammates went to coaches and said, man, we don't know, this guy's getting out of control, especially with the podcast, putting accountability on everybody else but him. These guys suck. The coaches suck. We got to do that. Now he has an opportunity to reset. And to me, I look at this as don't go there doing the same, being the same, because a lot of people question you when you change. Oh, you done went to Green Bay, now you changed? You let Jerry Jones punk you, now you changed? No, I'm refining my leadership. I'm changing who I am a bit. I'm tweaking how I go about my business. And one of the things I would advise him is the same thing we've talked about is with the podcast. Make it a thing of the podcast. Put it in your past. Pod, instead of podcast, pod can't. Okay, I can't do it anymore. Podcast away. Put it away. And the reason I say that is because nothing good comes out of it, and you don't have to do it. And now you don't want to create an atmosphere in a new place where they've had stability. You're the new guy where you start to ruffle feathers.
All right, let me ask you this.
Yes.
You're Green Bay.
Okay.
Do you say, please, no podcast? Do you know what I mean? Do you
I believe
as the new organization,
Yeah.
hey, Micah, we love you. We just gave you this money, all this. We just want to be focused during the football season, please.
I don't think
We'd
they
rather you
they
not.
do that. Because I don't
Why
think
not?
because
I think you
don't-
set the
because
tone
I
there.
think they do overt suggestion, overt jokes.
Oh, see,
All right, Micah, come in here. You put me on your pod like you're Matt LaFleur, like ha ha, wink wink, mother lover. Don't put me on there.
But my thing is, why should you be afraid to tell somebody who you're employed, who you want their full focus to be, and say, here in Green Bay,
That's a great
Micah, nobody has a podcast. This is not.
Can I
This
tell
is
you
not
why?
directed at you. Here in Green Bay, we want football to be that focus for the next 6 months, and this is what we're all doing.
This is the era of player empowerment and also just employee empowerment. And there are things that used to be that you didn't do, that maybe you didn't post on your social media, maybe it was too risque, and now an employer can't come to you.
No, but
Because they're going to be like, well, I can't wear that. I can't. Who are you? Are you putting me in?
no,
What are
you can't.
And okay, good luck in 2025.
But my only problem is the issue in Dallas wasn't you weren't defensive player of the year. Your defense wasn't ranked number 1. They weren't giving up 40 pieces, in games that you played in and all that. And you go on your podcast saying you did I did my job. I don't know what you want me to do kind of thing, which is basically implying that everybody else didn't do their job. I'm just saying, if I'm Matt LaFleur, I have that conversation, and maybe they did before they even got there, to say, we really want you, and we've shown we gave up 2 first-round picks, a
all the money,
Pro Bowl, and all the money, okay?
$136 guaranteed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you want to have that conversation. I think you're scared to force him. Like, if you don't do this.
No, I didn't say, I don't want it like
but
that.
I absolutely believe you suggest, you imply, and I think you hope. If you're David Mulugeta, his agent, I think if you're his agent, you say, hey, man, part of this is always marketing, brand, and focusing. Let's use this as a chance to rebrand what Micah can be. Let's use this as a chance to change the perception of you. Let's go in here, be locked in, laser focused, and now we can, kind of bring that to the new Micah in Green Bay.
And let's not forget, the Athletic reported in February that the Jets told Aaron Rodgers that he wouldn't be welcome back with the team if he continued to do McAfee show. Like, they just were like, we don't want this.
The difference, though.
No, I'm just saying, so a team did say that and wind up moving, on anyway.
That's why I think it's different. It's easy. You almost want to do that, so he'll go, well, screw it, I'm out. And you're like, yes,
but
he's
still,
gone.
But still, the request was made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I
That
think
it was an issue, and I understand. Like, you're not trying to dictate everything, but you're trying to be all on the same page. It's only now, okay, you had the thing with Dak. Yeah. Now are you going to be doing stuff about Jordan Love and start calling him Jordan-like?
Or if a player leaves.
I like him, but I don't love him.
If a player leaves, do you talk about him like you did DeMarcus Lawrence? Remember, you know what I mean? That who was a big-time presence in that locker room, and they got into it just because and it just, So I'm hoping he uses this as a time to retool, to focus in, lock in. Because listen, I was telling Rob G this earlier. Kobe Bryant, not the last when he was beat down and broken, right? But that years when they were making their championship runs and competing 3 back-to-back, going to the finals, winning 2 out of 3, that run, he had to refine himself as a leader. Socking Samaki Walker on the plane, wasn't it. Yelling at everybody all the time, wasn't it. He had to get some better talent, for sure, but he also had to, these are his own words, he had to find ways to lead better. You read Phil Jackson's book, Between Kobe, MJ, I had to teach them and work with them on leadership. And my whole point is, this is that phase. He's 26. You've already been all pro. You've been all that. How about now we lock in and focus to be that guy the next 6 years, that kind of leader, that being that guy in the locker room. Because you don't want that to be your thing. You're a bad guy in the locker room. You don't want that to carry along with you.